Good day, everybody, and welcome to my big video for a very expensive two-train set I just completed. This is for sale on eBay and my website, thetrainsaver.com. It's a Lionel 5x8 post-war two-train double reverse loop layout with accessories that is activated automatically by operating tracks, activator tracks. So the trains will pass on a train siding or a passing siding, and one will wait for the other. I also included or incorporated the toggle switches here, 3 of them. If you want to run regular one-train operation, you throw the 3 toggle switches. One toggle switch will power the passing siding, which is where the Amtrak is here by the station, where the train will just pass over and not stop. And the other 2 toggle switches will deactivate the automated switch tracks that control the switches so that the trains don't hit. When this train will pass on the back stretch, there's a track back there with a wire connected to this switch that'll throw it the other way, so when it comes back in, it'll go there. And same thing with the one on the west side. The accessories include the lighted train station or passenger station, the block signal, which is really neat. I have it rigged up so the contactor's back there and the block signal is red now. So when the passing train comes by, it sets off the block signal with a weight sensor that turns green and this train goes. And when this train passes over the sensor, it goes back to red. So when the passing train comes back around a reverse loop and stops, it'll be red. I thought that was really cool. And again, you can throw the 2 toggle switches for the activator tracks so that the 022 track or switch controllers will work just like they do from the factory, in case you want to just run one train. In that case, then it's a double reverse loop set with a passing siding. The other accessories included are the automatic crossing gate, which I have rigged up to accessory, and the signal flasher, which won't work until the train comes across. There's a Marks tunnel, a custom curved Lionel bridge, and 2 girder bridges, a telephone pole set, and the good old Lionel 125 watt LW transformer, which is plenty of power for both trains. The one train is the Amtrak Lionel, and the other train is all Lionel, but the Southern Pacific is K-Line. And what you want to do when you run the 2-train relay operation is cycle both of the reverse units into forward only, so that when they stop, they'll start out right away in forward instead of neutral. And with both reverse units being electronic, what you want to do is cycle through each engine with only that one on the track until you get to the neutral right after reverse. In other words, right before it would go into forward. And then take the engine off the track and throw the switches underneath, and that'll lock it in forward. The electronic reverse units will always be a step ahead. So when you lock it in neutral after reverse, before forward, when you turn on the throttle, it'll be forward. So I don't think there's any point in running one train to show you. It's just a matter of throwing the toggles. So I'm going to run both. This train, the Amtrak, is the one that's on the siding waiting. The Southern Pacific is just what you would say completing the route And the activator track for the passing side and using the insulated rail method is right here. So when the Southern Pacific hits here, it'll start the other train. It'll climb around. Here's one reverse loop. It'll come back down. And the Southern Pacific will wind around to this reverse loop and go back and stop. Ready? And these switches are all thrown automatically by the activator tracks. I'd say about 6 to 8 volts on the throttle. You want to set it where the climbing train barely moves, and then they'll work well and not collide, or they won't come down the grade too fast. Experiment a little. Here the Southern Pacific's going to stop, and the Amtrak will set that off. And we'll just watch them. We'll probably give it a little more throttle here. Got to kind of feel it. Very exciting. I turned up the throttle a little so the Southern Pacific's coming down a little faster. And of course the switches here are also non-derailing, so the rotation is different each time. Love that Amtrak train. Passenger train. If you're interested, I'll show you how, or I'll tell you how I did the automated method. It's very cheap, inexpensive. I'll tell you in a second. Let them run a little bit. The tunnel is an old Marks, vintage Marks tunnel. I'll get you a close-up of the crossing flasher and gate in a minute. Wait till the Amtrak will come around here and you'll see the blinker and the gate. Now watch when the Amtrak gets up about the back part of the grade, this switch will throw. It'll set the activator track off. See it go? So when it comes back down, it'll go this way. And the other switch track is activated on the far back side. You'll see in a minute. Wait till the Amtrak gets around the back corner, this one will throw. Right about here. It hits a outer rail insulated activator track. Ton of fun. And again, you can also just throw 3 toggle switches and you can run one train with the switch controls just like the original Lionel did. I made this custom curved bridge. I stenciled Lionel on it with a stencil and a marker. It's hard to put trestles under there. If we can, see if you can see the block signal change red to green. I don't know if you can see it on the camera. That'll turn red again. Woohoo! That's a sensor right here. Layout size is 5x8. The little experimenting, I got the trains to run the exact same speed so they time perfectly when they meet each other. They have to be kind of evenly matched. Shouldn't be too hard to hear me, I don't think, if I explain the automated method, if you want to do it. The train that sets off the stop block is just a typical outer rail insulated track that you make by taking one rail off and putting insulators on it and connecting a wire to it. The stop track, I made 3 tracks long so it didn't momentum through it and they hit or something. So you double outer pin both outer rails. I did it from this track, this here and here, to double pin here at the switch. So this is a dead track in here until the train hits the insulator track right here, and it bridges, of course, like you know the activator tracks work for accessories. It'll bridge the outer rails, and this wire will connect to the stop track and give it outer rail feed, and just long enough as the train passes over for the engine to pick up the normal current on the switch, and then it'll just keep going. It's very inexpensive. Actually, it doesn't cost anything but a few rail insulators because you need the track on there anyway. You can also, I don't want to explain it, but you can isolate and activate the center rail with relays and outer rail activators, insulated, but either way is fine. This is really cheap though. One note is make sure your rails are really clean, so everything activates like it should, even the rails and the wheels on the engine. Always keep them very clean, especially at any point that activates a switch or the stop track. My tracks are moving here a little, if you caught that. I bumped the passenger train. They're not nailed down. Gotta be careful. And again, it's a double reverse loop set. I'd like to explain something really fast. If you have lighted cars, I cut the wires from the outer pickup on a passenger car so they're separate instead of wired together like the factory. So if you don't do that, the car itself will conduct the outer rail if they're wired together, and the train will just keep moving into the switch. It won't stop. So you always run that special car right behind the engine. The lights still work on it. They're just individually wired with each pickup. I'm gonna stand over here. All the tracks are O gauge, 031 curves. I love the layout of this set. This theory will work on many different applications you want to, like different layout types you want to use. Large to small. You want to put a power track about every 10 to 12 tracks on a large layout like this. This is for sale on eBay and my website, like I said, thetrainsaver.com. Either one. It doesn't matter where you buy them. I have the crossing gate wired to 14 volts on the transformer, as well as the lighted passenger station and the block signal. The switches though are wired at 18 volts, You want to make sure they work. It's pretty crucial on this set. And I have them wired with the constant voltage plugs. You want to make sure they snap. They got to go every time. When the Amtrak comes in and passes by, I think we'll shut it down. The freight train will park, and I'll stop the Amtrak about here. There. Well, that's it. It's very easy to set up. Layout diagram included. Wiring diagram. Very simple to wire too. Wiring is included, but the if you want to stretch the wires out when you run them underneath the board. And that's it. Thank you for watching, and watch my next video.